Welcome back to the show, folks.
Yeah.
So it's been a busy, probably 2 weeks now with
Yeah, it
with
has.
all the new bows being released, and still more to come, obviously from some of the other companies. But
I would assume there's been a couple that have been pretty quiet.
yeah, Mathews gave a little sneak peek today with
Yeah,
that.
that'll be coming out tomorrow, the lift.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. We'll speculate a little bit because they showed a
Well,
little
yeah.
screen there for a minute with the Mathews logo booting up.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. So I've watched throughout the last little while watching videos. I'm pretty sure ever since the Phase 4, that cutout's been there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to do shot analytics with that. Kind of like the monitor your pin float kind of thing. And
Yeah, it seems to be something, right, to
yeah,
measure movement and probably torque when you release the bow and like what way it moves and all that good stuff.
vibration and stuff like
Because
that.
it's in, like you said, there's the spot, the cutout underneath the grip was in the Phase 4.
Yeah.
There's a spot there on the new title, and now
The
that
lift
the lift is
obviously
coming
has
out. I
it.
guess this will be the launch
But
of
you
it,
know
right?
what I actually like about that probably nobody else is thinking about yet
Mm.
is now it's bare riser shooting. You can put a grip over it,
Yeah.
but it'd be a lot easier now to bare riser shoot because you don't have that giant hole. Because even my V3 has a big hole there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what it's going to be all about, and like, because I feel like it's going to be gimmicky. You know what I mean?
It could be, yeah. Like I'm hoping it's got like it'd be pretty sick if it had that little chronograph in it.
Oh, for like speeds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious to see like if there's a device that comes with it as well that you plug in and all that stuff, or
I'm
if
thinking you
it's
could
Bluetooth,
download the
probably.
information, but it's probably also downloadable to your phone.
Yeah. Um, they're probably going to launch an app with it or something like
I
that.
would think so,
Would
yeah.
be my guess if
Yeah.
it's that in depth of an analytics system where it tells you hand torque,
Yeah.
vibration, movement, pin float, all that stuff. Like, I don't know. We'll have to see, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I think the only problem I have with it really is it's going to give the average archer, the average hunter, too much.
That's what I
Too
mean.
much to
Like,
think about. It's going to give people a lot of extra doubts in their mind.
yeah, it's like one of those things. Like, so archery is never a perfect thing because you can never be perfect.
No.
It's not possible, right? To Unless you're shooting out of a machine that's fixed in place.
Yeah, it's
There's
never going to be the exact same.
not as a human. You can't, right? Because you're imperfect yourself, which, I mean, I think as far as bow accuracy right now, we're pretty solid, man.
Ain't
Like,
bad.
it's, bows nowadays, and I think we're getting caught up in this chase of like such a fine, minute movement.
Yeah, and most people
It doesn't
don't
matter.
matter.
You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
without trying to sound rude,
yeah,
the vast majority of people aren't good enough at archery
to
to
worry
make
about.
up for those tolerances.
Yeah,
You're not good enough to do it anyway. You're not running the equipment. You're just not.
that's
So I don't care what kind of bow you got. If you don't have massive stabilization that's 3 feet long and everything else, you're not going to make up those tolerances. Stop worrying about them.
I think those things are like, that might help a guy like Chris B, or it might help a guy like
Yeah, of course.
Levi.
Just for the absolute
you know what I mean?
fine tuning.
Yeah. But like you say, anybody who's not like a world champion,
It's not even going to understand it, really.
it's probably not going to help you.
No.
It's like that thing. It's like when Dudley went on the rant about heavy arrows and fletching and this and that. And
Yeah.
it comes down to this. If you want to be a better archer, shoot your bow.
Yeah.
You can plug computers in, you can do all you want and all that stuff. If you don't fix the bad habits you have.
Yep.
Because here's the thing. you might use a program that watches your pin float or lets you know when you're releasing the arrow as your pin's floating around, like gives you all that telemetry and data. As soon as you take that off, everybody has a habit of reverting back to bad habits. That's
Of
why
course.
bad habits are so tough to break. So, yeah, you might fix it while those things are plugged in and they're giving you the real-time data saying, hey, you're moving your hand, you're torquing your hand left, so now you're conscious of it. But the next time you go shoot without that thing, you're not going to know.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. I
It's
guess
like with
it's
the.
cool,
It's
but
like with.
go ahead.
I look at it the same way as I do all these self-driving aids. All these things that just disconnect the driver even more so from the vehicle. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I really don't like the fact that there's going to be screens in bows.
The only one that I could ever see that should be in a bow is a rangefinder.
On the site, yeah. I mean, you can, yeah, for sure. But even those, I'm like, I don't know, man. Just use
That's
a
the only thing
rangefinder.
I could see, though.
Yeah.
Laser rangefinder built into the riser, a little button on the front of the grip.
Some things are better off left alone.
I agree, though.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean don't make bow innovations. That's not what I'm saying, because the reason we have such high quality bows today is because of innovation. But it's just innovation on what it was.
Yeah, don't necessarily need to innovate.
Yeah, it's risers, strings, cables, and limbs and cams. You don't necessarily need to like put computers in them,
Yeah.
because then I feel like you're taking away from all of it, right?
Yeah.
It's remember how
Well,
we
listen,
felt.
it's just like when a traditional guy says, compound bow.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something worse than that.
Well, it's just the next level up, right?
Yeah, but remember when we when was it? Remember when Burris came out with the Eliminator scope for rifles? And it was that range finding scope that also calculated wind direction and lift, and it would light up a spot in the scope, and you just hold that. So like the crosshairs could be down in the bottom left corner, and that's what you put on the animal. It counted for. Like, remember how we felt about that? We were like, that's kind of now at this point, like, you're not really doing anything anymore.
No, you're just pulling a trigger.
There's no marksmanship. There's no, like, you're taking everything out of it and just letting the computer do the work. And you're like, oh, just hold this red dot on its shoulder.
The human part of the equation has to be there, and it has to be the biggest part.
I don't think it's fair chase if you're using that scope.
Well, a lot of states won't allow it. Like, a lot of states won't allow it, for sure, because it's just electronics. But I'm not sure how that goes across Canada.
I'm not sure. I don't think we have laws on electronics when it comes to scopes and stuff. I've never heard of anybody saying you can't use this or that. Like, you could always use red dots for like small game and stuff, right?
Yeah, but I mean for archery.
Oh, archery?
Yeah.
That's another thing. I've never heard anything about electronics in archery.
That's the thing. Right? I haven't heard, but that don't mean there isn't something.
No, definitely not. It doesn't mean you're right. You're 100% right. But yeah, like some states, you're not allowed to use any of that stuff, right?
Yeah, you can't even have light up your pins.
No, which, I mean, all the power to you if that's how you want to do it, right?
Well, if that's how you have to do it.
I don't mind like a pin light to give it a little bit of illumination. Like,
no, I think like you
that's
should be
almost
able to
where you
light
draw
up
the
your
line,
pins.
Though. Yeah, but that's almost where you draw the line, though.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
what else do you need on the bow? That's going to be electronic.
That's what I mean, right?
Like,
just, I don't know. We'll see what it is, and maybe we'll love it. Who knows? Like, I've been wrong before.
We're going to think that it's got some cool things and some good applications, and I think we're also going to think there's some useless stuff for the average person.
Or unnecessary.
Yeah, because like I say, just the average person that's just out shooting their bow.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to use a bunch of the functions that this thing is going to do.
Or understand them.
Yeah, it's just
most people who shoot their bow don't even understand like
how it works.
Clocking or any of that stuff. Like, most guys just shoot a bow.
Just shoot a bow. And that's fine.
Straight fletches, straight. Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No.
Some guys just want to use a bow to get the job done and then call it a day, and they hang it up for the next 8 months, and it never comes out again until 2 weeks before hunting season.
I couldn't imagine.
They put 10 arrows through it and go hunting.
Couldn't imagine.
No,
I
I
enjoy
can't
3D way too much.
I do enjoy 3D season very much. I enjoy shooting my bow, man. To be honest, it's what it's all about, right? Plus, I like being proficient so that I know when the occasion arises that, there's a 90% chance I'm going to execute properly. Right? Maybe not that high.
That's a reasonable estimate.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like if the opportunity presents itself. I guess we'll dive right into new bows, bro.
Yeah, okay. There's a few.
Yeah, there's lots of new offerings. Bowtech has 4 if you're a lady.
Yeah.
They have one for you as well.
About time they redid her bow too.
It's been a minute, right?
Man, like
that
8 or 9.
This is the Gen 3 for her.
Is it the third gen for her?
This is the 3rd generation bow for her, yeah. And I remember her having a bow with Bowtech for
long time.
Over a decade ago.
Yes, long time.
So the first one is the Core SS. I guess this is their basically their replacement for like the SX80 or something, maybe. I don't really know what it's replacing.
Their more speed-oriented one. Well, the SX80 was just their 80-pound model.
Oh, was it? Oh, maybe it's the replacement for the CP30 or something like that then, because it's Core SS. It comes in at 31.5-inch axle to axle, 4.5 pounds, 50, 60, 70 poundage. Big draw length difference is 26 to 31, so it's got a pretty big span there.
It's good.
337 feet per second, so it's not a rocket ship, but not bad either. And a 6.25-inch brace height. So, I mean, all in all, not bad, right?
Oh, pretty good.
Decent specs. I haven't shot. That's the commercial plan for it here now. It does have, obviously, it has the cam tuning system, and
all the adjustability is the same.
It looks like it has the timing system as well on it.
Yeah, they do.
This year. So that's a cool feature that they've added from the Target line, right, to their hunting line. Is that timing system.
Now they've also taken the grip from the Target line, that adjustable grip.
Right, the one that slides in and out. Yeah.
And it's which one is it on? It's on one of the 2 hunting bows. It's not on both. Okay, so it's that one.
Yeah, it's on this
one. Other one.
And it's on the Core SR as well. Okay, so this is the SS. Oh, sorry, this is the Core SS. So this is replacing the SS34.
I guess.
And then
I'm not sure if they're still carrying it or not.
And then the Core SS. I think they always keep their last year's bows for a year.
Probably.
And then they push them out maybe or something. Stuff. So then there's the Core SR, which is let me see, I think it's the cheaper version, because this one, the SS retails for, let's see if I can get a price on it here. It's $1,400 US, so that's
$1,900 here.
No, less than that, isn't it?
It's like $1,849.
Oh, fuck. Okay, and the SR is the same price.
Yeah.
So I have to check it out now and see what that is. I'll give you the stats on it. It's 4.5 pounds as well. Same poundage adjustments, 50, 60, 70, 33-inch axle to axle, which is what we kind of like. That's where we like to see bows come in around, right? 25 to 30-inch draw length adjustments, 344 feet per second, so it's a little faster.
This was the faster one, yeah.
Yeah, and a 6-inch brace height on it. So
that's why.
Shorter brace. That's why, yeah. And they both come in at $1,400 American. I just want to see what the exchange rate is on that. Exchange. And it's, what did I say, 14?
It's too complicated. You just got to put in 1,400 US to Canadian.
Yeah, so
Google will do it all for you, bro.
That's what I just did. Yeah, you're right. They're $1,930.
Yeah.
That's a lot for aluminum.
Yeah. But the way I look there's one thing that I have in mind that justifies it for me with the Bowtechs for a little bit more of a price on an aluminum bow. Think of how many times you don't need to bring that to a shop.
True. You can do a
adjust
lot.
Something.
You can do a lot of the tuning on your own. That's very,
Almost
very
all.
true. Yeah. If you read just a little bit and understand bows just a little,
yeah,
you can make it.
Because essentially,
you can tune all
other
your own
than
stuff.
other than adjusting like maybe your peep, but even that you can do without a press.
Yeah.
Other than changing strings, I mean, you can pretty much adjust everything else.
That is more expensive than the new Hoyts, though.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that when we get to the Hoyt one.
Yeah, we will. I wanted to mention it there.
Because that's probably my favorite thing about the new Hoyt bows is they didn't up the price on them.
Yeah. So we'll move into the Eva Gen 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's 1,300 American, so $100 cheaper. So it's about $1,800 bow then. 1,750 maybe.
It's a lot of bucks, man.
Yeah, specs come in at 3.9 pounds, 40, 50, 60 for poundage.
Carbon weight.
It's light, very light for an aluminum bow. 28-inch axle, 24 to 29-inch draw length, which is probably pretty good for.
I would say that would cover almost everybody.
Yeah, 326 feet per second, 6.125-inch brace height, which is not bad. I mean, I feel like anything over 6 nowadays with newer bows and their wider limb
if you're
pockets,
going lower than 6, holy Jesus, you better dodgy be handy. You better know where you at.
It comes in some pretty cool colors.
I know
the forest green. I don't know why they call it forest green because it's more like a mint, but it looks real cool. And then obviously
Bowtech is good for colors and stuff, man.
They do a good job, yeah.
Like
smoke gray,
odd colors. You know what I mean? Like they don't just do like your standard green, black. They do those, but they also throw in like a weird red or a weird blue or.
Yeah. It also has all the timing features, all the cam lock features. It has the grip that move I don't know what they call that grip. The adjustable grip. Grip lock, is that what they call it? Okay. So it has that as well.
Something lock.
True. Time lock, cam lock.
Yeah.
And grip lock. But it's a nice bow, man. It looks real cool. Everybody's gone to the wider limb pocket situation.
Oh, yeah. Pretty soon, man.
Yeah.
Pretty soon they're gonna cast a shadow.
Yeah, exactly, right. So if you're a lady looking for a new bow that's kind of built for you, that's not a bad option, man. And you can tune all your own stuff. You make your boyfriend look terrible.
Yeah.
Tune your own bows. You know what I mean?
So they kind of listened to us, I think. Either that or we just guessed correctly.
I think we were a lucky guess, but we're going to chalk it up to the fact that we talked to the rep, and the rep went back and said, here's what you got to do in the next 4 months because the bows are coming out.
You
got to completely redesign the Carbon 1. No one cares what you call it, but here's the specs you need to meet.
Yeah.
Because that's what we told them at the meet when we had them on the show.
Yeah.
Off air, obviously. I think we told them on the podcast, too.
I'm pretty sure it was on there, yeah.
Steve shouted at you if you got this done.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't, but
basically, the Carbon 33, finally.
33-inch axle, which is
proper thing.
What me and you kind of agree on as being like the perfect,
the nicest, bow, yeah.
Right? Not too long, not too short.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And the best part, though, is the weight of the 30-inch. Is it 30 or 31?
30 of the original Carbon 1.
The weight of the original Carbon 1 at 30 inches is 4.5 pounds. Yeah. The weight of the 33 Carbon 1X is 4.5 pounds.
Right. So they didn't listen to us on taking weight out of the bow, but they didn't up the weight for the extra 3 inches of axle to axle length. So you can count that as taking weight out of the bow because they must have taken it out somewhere.
It had to come out somewhere.
It does have what the old RX-7 or RX-5 used to have from Hoyt, where the riser meets the limb pocket. It is made of aluminum, and that's where all that weight's coming from.
Yeah.
Until they figure out how to do what Hoyt did, where they eliminated that aluminum. That's how Hoyt got all the weight out of their boat, out of their carbon.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Bowtech will figure that out eventually. But props on them for keeping it at 4.5 pounds
Yeah.
at 33 inches. Obviously 50, 60, 70 pounds. 33 inches, 25.5 to 35.5 draw length adjustments, which is pretty good. That'll encompass most guys. I guess if you're one of the longer draw length guys like 31, 32, I guess you got to go with something else.
There's only so many bows for them fellas, right? Like you're getting into the Atlas, and I think there's a couple PSE long draw cams or something, but
yeah, I feel like you struggle if you are at the very bottom or the very top.
Yeah.
Of draw lengths, right? I guess 29 is where you really want to be. If you got a 29 as draw length, you're basically perfect. You fit anything, and you're shooting at the tippity top of the cam.
If you're shooting at 28, I think you can shoot pretty much any cam. 27.5, some of them do stop at, but for pretty much anything is 28. Like
there is so everybody thinks like the longer the draw length, the better. But it's not true. It comes to a point where there's a diminishing return.
Yes, when you max it out, things get violent. That thing wants to fire the whole time.
And it gets humped, like the hump grows tremendously on the draw, right? So 29 is like where the perfect, I guess that's why they test them at 29, right? Like everything you get IBO speeds and everything is at 29 inches. Because that's, I guess, the sweet spot where they can get the most performance out of the bow without it, and it feels tippity top, right? 339 feet per second, which is
pretty quick.
Not bad, right? A lot of the other bows are up in the 340 mark.
Not many of them are getting it though.
Not many of them are getting it though. You're right.
Like on testing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they are when you strip everything off of it and you make it as fast as possible where it's not that comfortable to shoot. You can get those speeds, but the average fella is not going to get them. And a 6 1/4 inch brace height is what it's sitting at, which is good. Good height. Man, I have to say I did shoot the 30. I haven't shot a 33 yet.
I think that was great. Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, we liked the 30 when we shot it.
Yeah, I think the 33 will be real nice in the hand.
Yeah, and it'll sit nice and stable. And I think now, again, they had the time lock, the cam lock, and the grip lock system in there, which is going to make that bow a dream to tune. It really is. Like, you can't take that away
from with your single little handheld tool.
Yeah, I mean, I will say one thing though. And I don't know if it's true, but I had a thought about it a little while ago because I had to tighten my rest back down.
That's a dangerous thing, you having thoughts.
It is dangerous. That thing getting bumped around, let's say on an airplane, in a case, blah, 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 while you're on trips in the back of the car. Screws are just something else to come loose with vibration. I'll get more into it when we get into the Hoyts on why I am weary of it. But
the one thing I do like for the Bowtech though is all of the adjustment screws for their different lock systems.
They have lockdown screws.
Have set screws.
Yeah, which great, but set screws can back out too.
You can put some Loctite in there.
True. Yep. But all in all, I mean, it looks like a pretty good offering from Bowtech this year. Like
absolutely.
They've given you lots of options. I think
they're not really having any like leap year. You know what I mean? Where they're like they put something out and it's like whoa.
No,
but they're just consistently getting a little better, a little better, a little better, a little better every year.
I think if they could have got that Carbon 1X down to 4 pounds, or
it would have done a lot better, or it will do a lot better.
Sub 4.5, like if you were around the 4.3 mark or something like that, then it would have wowed me. because I'd have been like, okay, well, you added 3 inches, you took weight out of it. You didn't come in at the same weight. You managed to find somewhere
Even
where you
more
could
weight
pull
to
some
go.
weight out of the bow, right? If that would have happened, I would have said, holy cap, like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I will give you a price on that bow now.
Carbon 1X.
Yeah.
It's like $26.90. I don't know, $25.99 or something.
So it's coming in at 1,800 American, which ends up being 24.84 Canadian. So you're
right at Levitate prices.
Yeah, well, the Levitate was $23.99 when it came out. So Levitate was slightly cheaper, and you can get a Levitate now for $24. You'd be hard pressed to buy that over a Levitate.
Yeah, I
for
think
the same money.
I would. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would have to do a good long testing session to really see which one fit me better.
I like what they did. I think the direction they're going with that bow is perfect. But
I don't think it's in line with that yet.
But if you're going to come in after in Levitate prices, something's got to be. The Levitate is 3.6 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's.
Oh yeah.
Or 3.5 pounds, whatever.
It's a whole pound lighter.
That's a big difference, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta come in harder if you're gonna go. If they would have put that bow at $2,200, you'd go.
Yeah.
You're good. Get that.
Yeah.
Because
it makes sense then, right?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Save a couple $100, a few extra ounces in your hand.
Yeah, you can't come in after the carbon bow of carbon bows, in my opinion. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the top 3.
Next to the Mach 34, which again is just a longer Levitate.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what I mean? So same bow.
And the RX-8's not proven yet, and technically that's a 2024 bow.
Well, exactly, and I'm pretty sure it's cheaper than this bow.
I think it is a little bit, yeah.
I don't think much, but I think it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And from the things I've heard, it's going to be hard to beat that bow. But for now, we'll move on to the Alpha and the Alpha 30 and the Alpha 33 first.
Yeah, from Hoyt.
What do you think of those new Hoyts, man?
Well, I'm gonna get my opinion of the RX-8 out of the way because it's a short one.
Okay.
I like it. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like a more svelte RX-7.
It looks
like it went to the gym.
Yeah, riser's basically the same, just wider limbs.
Yeah, it went keto and it's down to like 2% body fat, looking all Ripley.
Yeah,
but to me, it's pretty much still an RX-7.
They didn't change much of the riser. You're right. I think the whole redesign came from the limb pockets and the wider limb.
Yeah,
and that's it. And it's slightly shorter too, apparently. So,
as far as the Alpha goes, that riser is probably the most attractive riser I've seen
ever aluminum
on a bow.
Yeah. As far as aluminum bows go,
on any bow for me.
Yeah.
That's probably the most attractive riser I've seen on a bow.
It's pretty cool. The fact that number one, they didn't change the price from last year.
And they did way more machining.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So how did you... So they machined the shit out of that riser.
Whoa, man. Machine time on that riser must be days.
Compared to a Ventum or a VTM?
Oh, yeah.
They're not even
just
close.
Internal holes cut out kind of like a Mathews.
That's it. This is like intricately cut,
man.
Yeah,
this is 3-dimensional. It's got like a cage type frame. It kind of reminds me of like they were doing a shoot through riser for Target, but just closed up the middle, so it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like they just left that part hunting style, and then they boxed in the upper and lower portion of the riser for the stability and the stiffness, right?
So that Alpha X is, albeit looks very similarly shaped to a Ventum or a VTM.
Oh, yeah.
But it is a completely redesigned bow. It's a brand new riser. It's brand new limbs, limb pockets,
Whole
brand
new
new cam
platform.
system. Everything is different. It does not look anything like the old HBX cam at all. It's very different. It looks larger for starters.
Yeah.
Ton of new stuff on that bow. So, like we say, new risers, new limb pockets, new limbs, all that stuff. New strings. Hoyt says there's no reason to swap your strings out to aftermarket strings. They
Mathews
say they
says that
make.
now too with the match strings.
Yeah, I think everybody's a little full of it.
Maybe a little.
A little. I'm sure their strings are better.
Oh, yeah.
But I think everybody's a little full of themselves on the whole string.
Just a little bit on the factory strings.
The bloodlines are.
Yeah, because
I think you're hard to beat them.
But let's just face it and be honest. It's still a factory string. It's just got a brand name put on it now.
Yes.
To make it seem more so.
You take the A3s of the world and pin it as well. Like I had a set of pin it strings that were fantastic. Yeah. Like I'd be hard pressed to believe
they were super nice.
They were super good, well built strings. Yeah. I'd be hard pressed to think that these are anywhere near the caliber of those companies. Like I said, I'm sure they made improvements.
They're still mass produced though.
They're still mass produced strings.
Yeah.
I guess the other big change for them is the entire cam system. So it's new cam. It's got a little foot that sits on the bottom of that cam.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Right? That was a smart idea because that was one of the complaints I had. When you lit it down with the kickstand on it, your serving was sitting on the dirt.
Yeah.
So they've solved that problem, and they've redesigned the kickstand feet to look more like a bipod.
Those ghost sticks are way better now.
Way smarter.
Yeah.
Easier. They flip in a bunch of different positions. You can tuck them away.
Forward,
you don't have
backward,
to unscrew
don't matter.
them.
Yep.
Great idea. Half-inch or quarter-inch draw length adjustments.
Which is the way everybody should be.
Right? How much better is that?
How many people are not shooting their actual draw length? I would say about 60%.
I bet everybody could use a quarter-inch one way or another.
Yep.
A lot of people. Right? They also claim that the way the cams and limbs are designed, the limbs need to deflect less at full draw, which is giving you a better string angle, so it's not as steep.
Okay.
Which I was watching a few videos on it, and because they deflect less, it seems like it's made an even smoother draw cycle because you're not crunching those limbs in as far.
Yeah.
So everything seems to be like smoother through the whole process.
Yeah.
Which, man, those HBX Pro cams were pretty smooth to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Once you got over that front hump.
Yeah, once you broke it loose.
It was, I mean, they were kind of legendary for just falling in, you know what I mean? Whereas everybody else kind of stacks a bit, but and then they have you can flip the let off mod, so it gives you a firmer or softer back wall. And I've heard that we're gonna go shoot them at Shooter's Choice. They've said we can come in and have a go at one of the Alpha X's and one of the RX8s.
Beautiful. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, it'll be great. I've heard this is the best back wall Hoyt's ever had. I've never had a problem with a Hoyt back wall.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I know it was an older bow, but my Carbon Defiant, that thing was like coming up against bricks.
Rock solid, right?
Like literal bricks, man. Like once you hit it, there was no more. If you got any more pull out of it, it's because you were deforming your D-loop. Like
no sponge. No sponge at all, right?
No.
They say they have a 30% reduction in noise and vibration.
That's a big number, man.
That is a big number. 30% reduction from the VTM. Sorry, here we are. I found it. Up to an 18% reduction in vibration and 25% reduction in sound. Which is still big.
Those are still big numbers, man.
And they've done it all, even though they've removed the limb dampeners. The bow doesn't come with limb dampeners. So
That seems to like becoming a thing of the past.
It's bow companies trying to shave weight.
Yeah.
And I think the pivot now is technology is getting so good with like risers and how you can design them and computer technology to find out where vibrations are made. They're getting so good at building the bow that they don't need to mask it anymore, because modern bows now probably
Take
have
it up.
less vibration than the ones that had all those dampening systems on them
Oh,
before,
for sure. I would imagine.
right? But that's cool because, man, you're shaving weight every time you take those rubber pucks out, or the rubber
Yeah.
limb dampeners out. That's more weight gone out of the bow. So yeah, I think it's going to be it's going to be a great bow. I really do. So we'll give the specs, I guess. So it comes in 30 and 33 inch axle to axles. The 30-inch is 344 feet per second. 33 is 334 feet. So you lose about 10 feet with the longer axle to axle. The 30 is 4.55 pounds, and then the 33 is 4.75 pounds. Brace heights 6.188 on the 30, 6 and 3/8 on the 33. Draw lengths are 25 to 30, with a draw weight range of 40 to 80 pounds on the 33, or on the 30, sorry.
I would like to pull a 80-pounder.
I wouldn't mind, yeah.
Just to
26 to
see.
31, and then 40 to 80, obviously, on the other one. Yeah, I'd be interested in trying an 80-pound bow.
Especially on some of these newer ones, man, because some of the newer ones, people are drawing 80-pound bows and they're like, this feels like it's like 65, 70 maybe. Like,
Yeah, the technology's getting so good, hey? It's pretty bonkers, man.
especially for like a large big game bow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That you
moosing
get
up.
some distance, right? Like you
Well,
increase your range a lot.
well, not really. It's the bigger thing is the kinetic impact, right? Making
Yeah,
that
but you
energy
you
for
increase
hitting.
your effective range because you'll shoot flatter,
To a degree, yeah, but you're only
because it's
getting so
moving
far
faster,
with an
right?
arrow anyway, though.
For sure. But within your, like, whatever your arrow drops at 70 pounds in 50 yards, it'll drop far less with 80 pounds because it'll be moving way faster. The new color is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
The what's it called? The How come they don't? Oh, Tombstone.
Yeah. I would
That's
want that in the battle worn, man.
I don't think that maybe they'll make a special edition like they
Well,
did.
I look at it and I'm like, all that cutting, all that machine work, you should be highlighting that just raw material, like black chrome it or
Yeah.
something. Like, looks so
So
good.
yeah, no, I agree. I think it would be real cool to have that in a battle. I hope they do a battle worn version
Yeah.
of it. It also comes in the bourbon that we like as well, and it comes in the Kuyu Vias limb only. So it comes like the Tombstone riser with the new Kuyu camo for the limbs. So the 30-inch bow is 1861 Canadian, which I remember. I think when I bought my Ventum, I think my Ventum
$16.99.
Pro, it was 1650, wasn't it?
It's either that or
1649
it
is
was
what I
either that
paid
or
for it.
$16.99. One or the other. It was 16 something.
Yeah, either way. So I know the VTM was the same price as this bow, so they didn't up the price on this from last year. But over the years, they've gone up. I mean, basically $200
Oh yeah.
for an aluminum bow. I'm not sure how I feel about that's a lot, eh?
It's not a little, man.
Yeah. There was a time that carbon bows cost that much.
Well, $2,000 was what you were prepared for a carbon bow.
Yeah, now you can't
Now you're $2,000 to
even
just
dream of a
get like
carbon
a
bow
good
for.
aluminum. You're at 15 all day.
Yeah. I will hit on they did nothing for
No,
tunability.
zilch, zero,
Um, the
nada.
only the only update they did is they changed the plastic spacers to aluminum
Yeah,
machine spacers. So they are made from metal. Bearings are all bigger, axles are all bigger in this bow and everything like that. And the shims are color coded.
yeah.
Which brings me to my point about the tunability of the Bowtechs versus Hoyt probably has the least features to help you tune your bow by yourself.
Yeah, I would say.
PSE has that clip system, the 220 system. Obviously, Bowtech has the lockdown systems. Mathews, I guess, kind of doesn't really have anything either. They
Not
have you have to
really.
pull the axles and shim the cam. But Hoyt's, although tough to tune, once they are tuned, nothing's moving. You see, you know what I'm saying? Like the simplicity of it. For sure, it's kind of a pain at the start, but you'll probably never knock that bow out of tune. There's no screws to back out accidentally. There's no screws to strip because you forgot to back out the set screw or you forgot to put the set screw back in or whatever. So I know everybody shits on them for not doing any adjustability when it comes to tuning. I don't think they should.
I think they should have some.
Maybe an easier shim system. Maybe do something like PSE did. Just like a snap shim that you can pull in and out yourself
I just
without
think
pulling the
everybody
entire
should be
axle
doing
assembly.
the limb pocket adjustment, the tilt on the limb pocket, because that solves the rest of it for the most part.
Yeah, it does. But I think the only real way to get a real perfect tune is to make sure that cam is in the right spot. It all comes from those, man. Like your timing, how those cams line up, all that stuff is. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to tuning your bow, is to make sure those are all in line. I really want one of those spot hog tuning lasers.
Oh,
Like MFJJ uses, you can lay it on the cam and shoot it down the other side and put it so you can make sure the cams are in line. But I mean, I'm not, like I say, I'm not upset about the fact that they didn't adjust tunability. They made a way wider limb top pocket, so
oh my God, yeah.
that should make the bow super stable. And then all the Picatinny stuff is still there, like it was before, and the integrated mounts and all that stuff. So, yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I can't wait for us to go shoot them and see what they're
I'm
all about.
waiting
Will
for
we move on
PSE
to
to put something out, man.
I think they've got something
Well, I
coming,
know
man.
they got to for sure, but I mean, like,
yeah,
it just seems like they're like, let's let everybody else throw their stuff out, then we'll
maybe
come
they
out.
are. But they kind of did that last year, right? When they released the Levitate and stuff like that. Like they were offbeat with everybody
I guess,
else.
yeah, because that was like almost January
right?
or something.
That's what I mean. It was like coming into spring when they kind of did theirs, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see what's coming from
Me
them.
too.
I'm also curious to see what's coming from Mathews tomorrow.
Oh man, yeah.
I guess by the time this comes out, it'll be Wednesday, which means it'll
Out
already
for
have
a
been
day,
out. But what the lift is going to look like? Is it a completely new redesigned bow?
I hope so.
Like, what is it? Yeah, we'll see.
So from what I have seen online, it's definitely aluminum.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They're not doing a carbon.
It doesn't quite seem to have the same riser apparently, because the couple little chunks of riser they did show, like, it doesn't remind me of the VXR lineage.
It looks similar to me, see.
I found it looked a little different. It seemed a lot like, like if you were to look at the bow from like straight on, so like you were looking at me at full draw and I'm pointed at you, I think it's a lot more slender, it seemed to look, Because, like, I mean, you
Oh,
look at
like
my
they
bow, it's
they
sheet,
got rid of that
thick and
boxy
chunky,
look.
right?
Yeah.
This one, it kind of seemed like this one was a little more slimmed down.
Yeah, maybe. Kind of more like the PSEs of the world.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
They're like
thinking. A little
narrow
more
round,
along the lines of like the XF and
thinned out.
yeah.
Yeah, very well,
We'll
maybe,
see.
man. We'll find
That
out tomorrow.
orange that they had on it was pretty sweet looking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
interested.
We'll
I'm just
we'll
curious,
find
man,
out.
because like, what's the price gonna be?
I'm curious on how far they walked away from the Phase 4, or if they walked away from that design much at all.
Well, I'm
Like, is it just going to be another iteration of that?
guaranteed it's gonna have the same split limb design. I'm willing to
Yeah,
bet,
probably.
like they did it with the Phase
I'm
4,
wondering,
they did it with the title. This is the next one.
but I'm wondering if the Phase 4 was the last of its line, because all they did to the Phase 4 was split the limb and put the bridge lock system in for the
Yeah.
stabilizer. There really was no other. I mean, I'm sure they cut a couple things differently in the
Yeah, of
riser to make it
course.
look a little different, but for the most part, the riser is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they did that while they were working on this, and this is a completely new bow,
Could be.
or if it's just going to be like, I hope it's new cam system,
Oh, I hope
new
it's a
riser,
new
new limbs,
platform.
new things new. I hope it's an Alpha X for
Yeah, I hope it's a whole new
Mathews.
platform. It'd be cool to see what they come out with.
For sure. We'll find out tomorrow, and then we'll find out the next episode. We'll cover the Mathews and PSE offerings, if PSE puts something
They
out
got
in
to
that
by then.
timeline.
Jeez Louise.
You would hope.
Well,
RX-8
certainly heading putting out the hype. That's for sure.
for sure. Yeah. RX-8 time.
Yeah.
The first kind of.
I figured they were going to skip the 8 number.
I thought they were too. We speculated a lot on what they were going to do, and we thought they were going to do like the RX-X, but they did the Alpha X instead.
Yeah.
So we were kind of in the ballpark. They didn't do, like we said before, they touched the riser a little bit, but it's still pretty much.
It didn't change enough to call it a whole new name.
It's not a brand new
No.
riser. It's you can see the RX lineage in it easily. You can see it in the Alpha as well from the Ventums, but it's still very different. This is not. Still, the Vital Point grip has all the same stuff as the Alpha X when it comes to cams and limbs and all that stuff. All those features are on this bow. So the 30 comes in at 4 pounds, that's not bad.
No.
For a 30-inch aluminum bow. You know what weirds me out is the Levitate is a 32 and a quarter inch bow.
Yeah.
How is PSE capable of getting so much weight out of the bow and nobody else can
it's got to be the geometrical shape of the riser, because you look at the riser,
it has to be.
It's like very. There's a lot of diamonds.
There's not much there.
Diamond faces everywhere, though. Not little ones. They're huge. They're just oddly shaped, so they don't really always look like a diamond. But it's like facets all over it.
Yeah.
And it's got to be something like that they're able to just go with a thinner layer of carbon or something.
And I think the other thing is too, like, if you look at the Hoyt compared to like the PSE carbons, is
there's a
like
lot
the
going
Hoyts
on.
always have those bridges. In the back,
those little like veins that go across.
Yeah, and like that bridge that comes back that holds this cable guard, whereas PSE just has a straight riser.
Just a tube.
Yeah, there's less stuff, right? So that must be where they're saving all the weight, because there's a lot of cutouts for a carbon.
A lot of holes,
in that. Yeah, holes, right? Like, so I guess I would have liked to see them come in under 4 pounds, because especially on a 30-inch bow.
On the short one, yeah.
But they didn't. So, I mean, 442 feet per second,
442, bro.
Sorry, 342,
Say
446,
rocket ship.
fastest bow ever made, right out of the factory. And then obviously 40 to 80 pounds. And then the Ultra comes in at, so 34.688
Yeah, which is
axle to
5/8.
axle. So that is officially, I
5/8.
think, the longest hunting bow, like
Mach 34.
designated hunting bow on the
Mach
market.
34.
Yeah, but this is
Oh
longer
yeah, 34 and 5/8
by half an
yeah.
inch, right? They still come in, so they're
Yeah, that
an
sounds
inch
right.
and 5/8 longer than the Carbon 1X, and they're an ounce heavier or lighter, sorry. Which is pretty impressive. The fact that they got it at 4.4 pounds at that axle to axle, that's pretty good. 332 feet per second, 7 1/16 brace height. That
It's gonna be nice.
is a big deal. That's for
Yeah.
over 7 inches.
Yeah.
That's I
That's
bet you
nice.
that's something nice to shoot,
That's
man.
nice.
Yeah, like the only problem is 27 to 32 inch draw length. Now Hoyt did this year bring out 3 modules.
Right.
So depending on your draw lengths, you get the module that fits you that you can max out the most. I hope everybody starts doing that, because that gives the shorter draw length guys the ability to get the most out of their bow, which would be great, because both of us are rather shorter draw lengths. I'm not as bad as you. Like, you're down to 26 and a half,
bro.
right? So you're at the bottom of
a lot of
almost every
places.
cam. I'm 27 and a half, which, I mean, I'm not up there, but I'm close to the 28 mark.
Yeah, well, you're generally included in most of the cams.
Yeah, I'm sitting kind of on the lower
end of middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas I'm just down.
So it's not so bad.
Hey, throw me some fucking arm length down here.
Well, there's some bows that they've made that you can't even shoot.
That's correct. I can't even shoot them.
Like, which is not good. Not Hoyt, we mean in general, like companies.
Oh yeah, no,
there's
been a couple bows that I've gone to actually look at, and it doesn't start till like 27 and a half, and I'm like,
yeah. So this Ultra you couldn't shoot. You would have to go to you'd have to go to a 30-inch bow. You could shoot the Alpha 33 though. You'd be a half inch off the bottom. So not so bad.
Short D-loop.
They did short D-loop, yeah. So they did design both these bows with the same limb and cam system, like to feel like seamless transition.
Yeah.
If you're one of those guys that buys both bows, you can kind of go back and forth and not really feel.
Who in the hell can do that?
Not me.
Not anymore, you can't.
Own 2 bows.
No, you were doing it, but that's when bows were also like $300-400 each cheaper.
Yeah, and I did realize that having 2 hunting setups was like
not quite necessary.
It's kind of unnecessary. You know what I mean? A target bow would be much more. I just found, you know what I found when I had 2 bow setups? I just found I gravitated towards one that liked, that I enjoyed shooting more, and the other one just stayed on the shelf. I'm sure it would be great if you had a bunch of private land where you could do turkeys and deers and all that stuff, and you could manage it, and you had your ground blind bow for turkey that was lighter poundage, shorter axle to axle, and then your tree stand bow and your western hunting bow, and once you get into that regard, but that means you're hunting for a living or pretty close to it.
Yeah,
which means you're probably getting your gear for free
or close to.
So, or discounted at a pretty good rate.
So we should take a second, because as everybody who's probably listening by now has known and seen, we have a giveaway going on right now. We do. Yeah, teamed up with Vortex Canada and put together a nice little giveaway package there. We're getting some pretty good response to it so far, I must say. Lots of people.
Very much so.
So yeah, just basically wanted to throw a huge shout out to Vortex, man. We had them on. Neil was on, and when we did the Shooter's Choice event, and great guy, super knowledgeable.
Awesome, dude.
He probably knows more about optics than anybody I've ever met. And I'm ex-military, so I've met a few people that knows about optics, but like, that man's pretty smart.
Yeah, he knows his stuff for sure, and he's certainly instrumental in helping us set up the giveaway.
Absolutely.
In getting that rolling for us. So we want to say a big thanks to Vortex Canada and a big thanks, Neil. We appreciate you helping us with this, and we can't wait to announce the winner. We're going to do that on the 22nd of November, and then we will eventually roll into the next giveaway shortly after that, probably sometime.
We got another one.
Yeah. If you do want to get in on the giveaway, head over to our Instagram page, click on the post, follow the instructions there, and get your name entered in the draw, because there's a bunch of sweet gear in there. Glass Pack Pro, some Vortex water bottles, bino harnesses, deck of cards,
some hats,
cozies, pens, hats, all kinds of gear, toques, like all kinds of cool stuff in there that you're not going to want to miss out on for sure. Yeah. I guess we should also say congratulations to Matt. He just put down a buck.
He did.
Here in Ontario.
Yeah. We had another buck.
Good buck.
Yeah.
Too. Nice one.
Yeah. Definitely a handy guy. Had a bit of a wonky.
One antler was a bit wonky. That's why he took him. He said he had a little junky antler, so he said I figured I'd get him out of the gene pool. And, but boy, he knows how to get it done.
He makes it happen.
That dude, I'm telling you right now, that dude makes it happen.
Boy, Matt. We got another deer down too, but this one's in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, that's right.
Brad knocked down his deal from O'Neill Outdoor Podcast.
Good looking buck.
Good looking little buck, yeah.
Yeah, good for you, buddy. Congratulations. That's awesome. I know the rest of the boys are hunting hard still, so good luck to you. And I'm sure you'll tag out soon. I'm getting in now that rifle's over. I'm getting back at it this weekend. I'm going to start trying to see if I can get my hands on a decent buck. I'm not going to be too picky, so
no.
And I guess you'll be. What is it now? You got 15 days left.
Well, I'm hoping maybe the last week of November, something like that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get on them. That. That's torturous. I don't know how you're handling that.
Crawling the walls, man.
Oh,
I got fingernail scratches at the door like a cat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough, man.
It's super rough.
So, yeah, I don't know how you're doing it, but hopefully you get real lucky real fast.
Well, again, I think it's going to be a very productive piece because there's no pressure. There's been no pressure.
It's private, yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
He went out just to make sure his stands were still up, and that was it.
You got any vacation time left?
A day.
Oh. We definitely got to take that day and go deer hunting. Full day sit. All day sit.
Oh, yeah.
Pack a lunch.
All day sit.
Put it up in the climber with you. Have a munch.
Yeah. That don't bother me. I ain't taking that.
Slay yourself a deer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cube it up. Stew meat. Roast. Backstraps. Tenderloins. Done.
Jerky.
Maybe a neck roast.
Yeah, I'm in for that too.
Yeah. I got some heart here still.
You better.
For when you come down. Yeah. I got heart, a backstrap, or a piece of backstrap because we don't need a full one.
No.
And a tenderloin because they're only like that.
Yeah. They're not so big on a deer.
Tenderloins are. Yeah, they're not much to them. So
babies.
I really hope everybody tags in.
Oh, man.
I wish the best of luck to everybody, man. I know Josh is up there hunting hard.
I get excited
our boy Josh from Indoor, he tagged out too, man. He did a good job. He got a nice buck. Like, actually, he got a big buck.
He got a healthy boy.
That's a dude.
Yeah.
Man. Like, so congratulations to him. Everybody seems to be hunting hard this year, which is awesome. I love to see it, and I love to see the boys being successful. Super cool. So
yeah, we need to keep it
going.
Keep it
up, boys. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody brought heat this year. Like,
it seems the only ones that seem to be kind of still slagging behind is Prime.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, they come in at a cheaper price point. So
they
I feel like
their Ronin is like supposed to be like budget oriented.
Yeah, a reasonably priced bow. So I don't beat I don't beat Prime up too much for not hanging out with like the Hoyts and the Mathews of the world.
But the noise, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When are they going to get rid of the racket?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to shoot one to see how much noise there actually is. Like, I'm curious to see. But they did 3 new bows. Well, okay, so it's technically 4 new bows, but 3 of them are the same bow at different axle to axles.
Yeah.
So the RVX comes in a 36, a 32, and a 34.
Yeah.
I did manage to watch the MFJJ video on them. I don't know if you managed to see them.
Got most of it.
They didn't come in very good on their speeds.
No. A lot less than what they're claiming.
Consistently 19 to 20 feet per second.
And that's a lot less than what you're claiming.
That's a pile because they're claiming 342.
Yeah.
And they're coming in more around 319, 320.
Yeah.
Which everything else seemed to check out fine. Weights of the bow.
And don't get me wrong, it's not that that's a bad statistic. 320 actual speed is pretty good.
Tell the truth.
But
just be honest about your speeds.
Yeah, just put it what it actually is.
Yeah. They do. I didn't know this. I had seen it on the video. They lifetime their strings, hey? So you can, if you buy a Prime bow, every 2 years, you can go to the shop that you bought it at, and Prime will send you a new set of strings for their bow. You never have to buy strings for your bow. According to MFJJ.
Right?
That's a pretty big value in itself, in the fact that,
every
if you're
2
not one
years?
of those, if you're not one of those guys that buys a new bow every year, and you're buying one to like keep for 4 or 5, 6 years, I mean, you get free strings. That's a pretty big deal.
That's impressive. I didn't know that.
That's I didn't know that either until today. We won't spend too much time on them, just because they're not a whole lot different than the Rev X. They're roughly the same. Brace heights are 7 1/4 or 6 3/4, 6 1/4 on the 34, and on the 32 it's 6 1/4 as well. Like you say, they're all boasting speeds that are dramatically
way
faster than they say they are. And they're all coming in at around 4.6 pounds, 4.4 pounds for the shorter axle to axles, 4.5 for the middle. So they're all in there in that regular range of every aluminum bow.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, they have the Ronin that they just put out, which is their budget bargain bow, I guess. Meant to be
looks pretty good.
Like still a good bow.
Just at a nicer price point, that's all.
Yeah, it's I think, what was it, $8.99 American?
So that's like 13 something Canadian, I guess.
Yeah, probably something like that, right? That's a pretty good price for a bow. Like,
yeah, that's nice.
I'm just gonna double check it here
Especially
now.
If it comes with free strings for as long as you own it.
Yeah, so it's $1,200 bow.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, all the Mathews and the Hoyts and everything are up around, $1,800 now.
Yep.
So, a Prime is not a bad option if you're trying to get like a really good bow for a reasonable price.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you don't want to break the bank. We will move on to Mathews.
Oh.
Yeah. If
it
you
really
want to
pissed me off with the title because of the outlandish price.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the new bows they threw out today are not super cheap either.
They're only $30 more than last year, though.
But that's the thing for me, is they did a whole lot more work, made it more feature heavy, and it only went up $30.
A lot of machining in that riser.
Ooh, for days.
And to knock out of the park, I cannot believe the weight.
4.26 on a 33-inch.
4.26 on a 33-inch aluminum bow. That comes in lighter than the Bowtech Carbon 1X.
Yeah. Comes in
That's
lighter than the Carbon 1 at 30 inches.
yeah. I
Comes
think it
in lighter
actually
than the Hoyt RX-8, I believe, at
by
33.
by 0.1 of a
Like,
pound. That's
well,
impressive, man.
and I'll tell you, I know it sounds silly because it's a half inch, but a 29 and a half would literally be the shortest bow I would ever shoot.
Yeah. It's
I've
different though
always
because it
said
has a long
30.
riser.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you look at
Yeah.
the actual riser, pretty much 30. It's 29 and 3/4.
Yeah, the riser is longer
So,
than the axle to axle.
yeah, this is the uber beyond parallel limbs.
Do you see that thing when you draw it?
Oh my God.
The
Almost
limbs
like
like
rolls right
tuck.
over.
It's
And it's extra exaggerated because of the axle on limb design now instead of the
on
axle
top.
through limb. Yeah.
Yeah. So they brought over, we'll run through features. They brought over the same axle mounts as the title, which is now on the top. So they're not drilling
Yeah.
through the limb. Bridge lock system's all still there. They did put in the shot sense system, which I did just watch a video on from
Me too.
Lancaster. And it does do the whole pin flow, movement,
Yeah.
torque, where your bow goes. So that is pretty cool. What else? Brand new cams. Still running the switch weight cam, but it's the switch weight X, so it's a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
And it has the mods obviously for individual draw lengths because Mathews feels you get more out of a bow
Well,
that way.
I was watching a thing on that actually. They actually say that when they designed each mod for each draw length, they actually designed it to get as much performance out of the cam as possible. So that way you're as close to as possible with peak efficiency.
Yeah.
So
Which is
even
cool.
though my draw length is so much shorter, I wouldn't lose hardly anything, say, over your draw length.
Yeah.
I
So
might lose like 4 feet per second or something.
yeah, because you're always going to lose a little bit no matter how low you go, but you'll get more out of a 26.5-inch draw on that bow than you would say the new Hoyts.
Yes.
Even though Hoyt did the module system as well, just not as specific. Like
Yeah, not
Mathews
quite
has
the
a
same.
specific 26.5-inch draw mod.
Yeah.
Run through the specs real quick on the 29.5. It's a 6-inch brace height. Obviously, draw weights are 55 all the way up to 80.
Well, that's new though, because 55 wasn't around before.
You're
They
at
had
60,
50, and
yeah,
yeah, and they
so
didn't have 80. This is their first 80-pound bow,
yeah, and it doesn't go
other
down
than
to
the
50
Safari.
though. Yeah,
Yeah.
3.99 pounds.
Yeah, bro, that's insane.
Just shy of. It's
under
I'm
4
baffled.
pounds.
I'm baffled. That bow is lighter. I mean, there's only the PSEs are lighter.
Yeah, and those
I
are
can't believe they got a
bows
sub 4-pound bow out of aluminum.
out of aluminum, and
I'm
it's still
baffled.
basically a 30-inch bow.
More or less, it'll feel like a 30. Yeah.
Yeah, I would run that all day.
It's nice. Yeah.
All day. What a tree stand, ground blind,
Oh,
any enclosed or stationary position. Perfect. Yeah. Saddle, yeah.
Saddle would be good.
And that 33, oh, bro.
Oh, don't even be talking.
Oh.
The 29.5 is boasting 348 feet per second.
Yeah.
It didn't quite get there with MFJJ, but he did say it is on the more the higher let off mod. They don't have the they don't have the lower mod, so you'll probably gain. I think they were off by 9 feet per second, and he said you'll gain 3 or 4 feet, so they will be close to it.
Yeah.
Draw lengths are crazy, 24.5 to 30.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Love it.
And then obviously it's in that $1,800 to $1,900 price range, like the Hoyts and everything else.
Yeah.
So we'll move to the 33.
I want both of them.
Oh, I bet you do, of course.
Oh my God.
They're so nice. And that we'll touch on the color thing in a sec. I'm just going to run through the specs and then because I know you're into you like the color.
I'm digging that, yeah.
The 33, all the same features as before. They still also have the stay afield system. 6.5-inch brace height, which is great. 55 to 80 for poundage. 4.26 pounds. I can't believe it. Up to 343 feet per second. Again, they were about 8 to 10 feet shy. 26 to 31.5-inch draw lengths, so you can shoot that bow. And it's $100 more than the 29.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And and a 33-inch axle to axle. It's a great looking bow. I think they're going to do real well with it. And those colors, the fade to blacks, what do you think?
Oh, I love it.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to do that with their target bows too.
Yeah. I like the brown that fades to black, the earth, the new earth
all
color.
Of them, all three of them.
Yeah. Super
all
cool.
All three of the solids that fade to black.
Yeah.
They look good.
Yeah, they're real good.
But I do like the earth a lot. That looks real slick.
The earth color's cool, right?
Yeah.
They also have a new limb pocket bolting system.
Yes.
So they've made the bolt smaller.
Yeah, well, they got rid of a lot of the pockets bracketry.
Yeah.
And they made it so on the top of the riser, there's like a big nub that sticks up.
Kind of locks it in.
And then the new pocket goes right over top of it and bolts straight down through. So they saved weight on the pocket bracket and on the bolt.
So I bet you that's where they saved a lot of their weight, is like just less stuff.
And bro, look at how open the bow is.
Oh, it's so there's so much
when you look at the profile of mine, like even though there's a lot of cutouts, it's a solid cut the whole way through.
Yes, it's not.
Whereas that one is 3-dimensionally cut. Like it's like it's like when you do the paper mache balloon, but you use the string and then you pop the balloon. It's like that, right? I don't know what the word is for that.
It's like a cage.
Yeah,
for the riser instead, right?
Yeah,
same thing Hoyt did.
It looks so good.
Hoyt did the same thing, kind of a cage riser, right?
With the Alpha, yeah.
So
looks so good, man.
Lose a lot of weight there too with all that stuff you can take out of the middle of the bow, right?
Yeah. But this gets you into carbon weights, man, for not carbon prices.
I'm super impressed, man.
Do you hear what MFJJ said about the Mathews and carbon bows?
Yeah, he said they're not going to make one.
Yep. I don't think we can make as good a bow with carbon as we can with aluminum.
Yeah. Well, I think what they said was, I don't think you can make a carbon bow. So they think that no carbon bow is as good as an aluminum. That's what I mean. Oh, okay, yeah. Like that's a bold statement.
No, you can't make a carbon bow that's as good as an aluminum bow. You can't. That's their belief.
I will disagree with Mathews on that one. I don't think they're correct there. I think you can make a carbon bow just as good, there's so much that goes into making a bow good.
The problem is it's all subjective.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's whatever.
It's all based on who's holding the bow.
Yeah.
So who's to really say?
A cam makes or breaks a bow.
Yes. If it's not comfortable to draw repeatedly,
I couldn't care.
It's not a good bow. No. I don't care how good it looks.
No. Anyway,
I watched Chris B.
Yeah.
Building his 80-pounder today.
Yeah.
And he drew it back. He was like, "Oh, this is okay. This is easy."
Oh my god. Jeez.
So
80 pounds is easy.
A 33, bro, at 80 pounds. That's the moose bow right there.
It would be good, wouldn't it?
That's the moose bow.
Yeah. I'm again super impressed with what Mathews did. Like they brought
floored by that.
They brought a savage bow, and they did so much with it and took so much weight out of it that I don't know if anybody's gonna. PSE is the only one, in my opinion, right now that can come out and
they're the only ones that's lighter.
Nab them up, right? Because they're the only ones. We haven't really seen the specs on the PSE yet. So they did do a release video today.
Yeah.
For the Mach 30.
Which is a great idea.
Oh, super cool.
They should have had a bow of that style in a 30 by now anyway.
Yeah. Best commercial I've ever seen for a bow.
Right?
Yes,
that was a great one.
It was super fun, but epic at the same time, and like really cool. Well done, I think PSE.
Yeah, no, that
whoever
was a
took
great
over,
commercial.
with Heritage Outdoors, like PSE's marketing, they've certainly switched the gear and been like, let's be a little more youthful.
New. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not like the old boys club anymore. Like it's cool now, right?
Yeah.
Which I think PSE needed.
Phew, big time.
And good on them for it. Hoyt is kind of like the serious brand.
Yeah.
Mathews is more or less like the
bro band.
Yeah, the bro brand.
The bro
like
brand.
Everybody shoots it. They're fanboys
but
and stuff like that.
There's also a ton of haters out for Mathews too because of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I think PSE is 100% headed in the right direction.
Oh my god, yeah.
I love what they did again with the video and that Mach
sneak
30.
Peeking, and they're sneak peeking the knock on Mach 30 or the knock on
the Dudley
Levitate
one?
30, I guess.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what it's going to be like.
You're
Is it
not
going to
ready
be
for
a
this
Levitate at 30? You see the riser's different, hey?
Yeah, they got
It's
like a big triangular cutout there like that. It looks nice.
Yeah, it does look nice.
Looks
So,
nice.
it is a cool looking bow. I can't wait to see what Dudley had in his hands as well. If you haven't seen the video, go to PSE's YouTube channel and watch it. It's
a great video.
Super cool and super hyping. It gets you like wanting to go shoot your bow and work out. It's weird.
Yeah.
It really did. I was like, man, I want to go work out now. Unfortunately, we don't have any specs for that bow.
No.
Because they have not released any specs yet. All we know is it's a 30-inch axle to axle, and it has an EC2 cam on it.
Yes.
That's it. There's nothing else on that bow, unfortunately.
Looks good.
I hear PSE says it's one of the best bows they've ever made. But we'll find out.
Funny though, like, so Prime had release date today, Mathews had release date today, PSE had release date today. Everybody has specs but PSE.
But they're kind of famous for that.
And everybody has the bow. The other bows.
Yeah.
Except the PSE.
Yeah. It's funny because when they did the Levitate, they did the same thing. Dudley did like the reveal. No specs.
Yeah.
When they did the Mach 34, big reveal, no specs. I mean, I'm sure we'll get them in the next day or two.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I'm sure it's just to generate buzz, so it's totally effective because we're buzzing about it right now.
Well, if you think about it, we've got all the info on the other bows, and all I can think about is the new PSE.
Yeah,
even though all these sweet bows came out.
Yeah, my brain is locked in.
Well, you're the Mathews fella, and you really they redeem themselves in light to you now.
Yeah,
because you were pretty choked with them about the price of the title. Not the title itself. The title itself is super impressive.
Yeah.
But it's the price for you that was, and for me, I think it's
just
too
puts
much
it
money.
At a reach for so many people.
It's too much money.
Yeah.
But they did, and by releasing these two new hunting bows, the Lift, and not jacking the price something crazy.
And
I give them credit.
By doing a slight refresh on the TRX lineup.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't change a whole lot. Riser's a little bit different, just a few bibs and bobs.
Yeah.
But they at least took the time to not forget it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, you're still a part of the lineup. You've been the same for like 3 years now. Let's give you a little facelift and send you on your way.
Do you know the one thing I think they did wrong? They're going to sell that shot analytic thing separately.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that if I'm going to go spend, basically it's a $2,000 bill on an aluminum bow now.
Yeah.
And then I have to spend, according to how much their stabilizers are.
Oh, that's going to be at least a $500 option.
Do I I think that should come in the bow.
Then you're going to also have... From a $1,900 bow, now it's a $2,300 bow.
I know, but what I'm saying is that shot analytic thing should have came in the bow at the price point they have it at now.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I think it's a little foolhardy to expect people to go out and spend, depending on the price. If it's like $50 to buy that thing, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, yeah.
Even $100.
Yeah, and then like you just pay like say it's $10 or something up front for the app.
I think it should be free.
Well, it definitely should be.
So I think if you get the shot analytics for $100 or less, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
If it's coming in at like $300 or $400,
Yeah, it's wild.
that's such a, I don't know. It's just a slap to me, right? Like I just bought a new bow
Yeah.
because you have this sweet shot analytics thing, and now I have to go spend more money
Yeah, and
to
a
put
lot
that
more
in my bow,
maybe.
and probably a lot more
Yeah.
because Mathews is kind of. It's my one gripe with Mathews is everything Mathews related is a fortune.
They are the Ultra View of bow accessories.
Bows, yeah.
And
Oh,
bows, yeah.
Ultraview is also making a handle or a grip
Yes.
that
Specific
is
for it.
compatible with the
Yeah.
the shot analytics. Anyway, I don't want to beat Mathews up too much because they did do a fucking banging job coming out
Oh
with
my
these
God,
bows.
yes.
I just hope that they rein it in on the shot analytics system.
Yeah.
And don't let it go out of control. Man, I'm super pumped about that new PSE though.
Yeah,
I'm curious, and
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Again, those big triangle cutouts in the top part of the riser.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that really toughens up the bow. It makes it a lot more edgy looking.
And the limbs, how wide are those limbs, man? Did you see how the gap in the between the limbs, bro? They're gone so wide, man.
I know, it's pretty crazy.
Like, that's bonkers.
I don't know where we're gonna be at here soon.
I don't know either. Everybody's moved away from the shot dampeners.
Yeah,
PSE has theirs in there, but
not such a big deal anymore.
No, Mathews got rid of them. Hoyt's got rid of them.
Just
PSE
was
was rid of them first with the levitate, but then the 2.0 levitate, they put them back in. Yeah, it's interesting times, man. It really is. I didn't think anybody could like impress me with what they came out with for new bows.
But it's a good year.
This year is a vast improvement on last year's.
Yeah.
Haul, because I feel like last year's was kind of just here's another version of
it was a gap year. Yeah,
right.
Because that's what it was. It was like everybody had big plans.
Yeah.
For what came out this year.
Just wasn't ready, right?
But they were like, we are nowhere handy to being ready. So we got to put something out that's kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
Just to tide us over till our gangsters come out.
Yeah. But good move on them because everybody came with weapons.
Oh, everybody came blazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
I watched a couple of the videos on from Mathews about the testing.
Yeah.
And Chris B getting the mountain goat up in BC.
I saw that. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna.
It's a good video. You'll like that one. You likes the goats.
I'm into the mountain goat hunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I know we're running handy on to hour and 40 minutes now, probably, or hour and a half for sure.
Meh. It's a big week for archery, man.
It is a big week, man. And again, everybody brought some savage bows. And boy, I'm telling you right now, if you are in the market for a new bow this year, you're going to have a hard time choosing, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
But bring your wallet.
Bring your wallet.
And your friend's wallet.
But get down, take your time, get down to an archery shop, shoot those bows. See
Try
what
the hell out of them, yeah.
And then remember, like, no matter what shop you're going to, if you're spending that amount of money on a bow, get some time with it.
Yeah, make sure.
That's what they're there for. Get them to put a D-loop on it. Get them to throw a whisker biscuit on it for you, and just run some arrows through it.
Yeah.
Get a feel.
You don't need a sight or nothing. Just
run some arrows through.
Run it.
And get a feel for it because, you are spending a fortune on a hobby piece of equipment, more or less, for most 90% of people in the world. So
yeah.
But yeah, don't be afraid to try different stuff either,
No, geez, no. It's great to be brand loyal. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Mathews. Absolutely. I love shooting them. Yeah. I love looking at them. I think they're a great bow. Mm-hmm. But I am definitely open to trying anything because I might find something that works better for me.
Hey, man.
I might.
You never know. You do shoot that Mathews well, though.
Well, I'm pretty partial to it.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to wean you off of Mathews. I think.
I
I think
know.
you shoot a Mathews real well, and with what they came up with today, I mean, I bet you when you shoot that 33, you're just gonna be like, yeah, this is the next one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's funny that like you kind of gravitate towards PSE or towards Mathews, and I kind of gravitate towards PSE.
Yeah.
It's just funny the different feels of bow that you enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
They feel very different.
Oh.
Like vastly different bows.
Gigantically so.
Yeah, I know people think that like it's just a bow is a bow, but that is not the case at all.
Nope, no sir.
They're all good, but are they good
just
for
different.
you is the question.
Yeah, but
with that, we'll call it a night. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for all the positive responses on the giveaway and all the new subscribers we're after getting. It's great, and we've got a lot of messages too from a lot of longtime listeners saying that they enjoy the podcast and thanks for the giveaway and stuff. And you don't have to say thanks; it's our pleasure.
We do it for you.
We just love archery. We're going to bring you guys cool gear and cool content, and we're going to be ramping up more here soon. Like I said, we're going to every week podcast. Some of them will be shorter episodes with just reviews or comparisons of equipment. We were going to do that this time, but then new bows started coming out fast and furious, so we want to cover those first. Yeah, we like talking about new bows, so we'll get those gear review ones out to you as well. To fill in the weeks, but
some of them will be short
again,
because winter content, you know.
Yeah, they'll be half-hour gear reviews. Probably They won't be like hour-long things like we're running up on here now. So, again, thanks for listening. Head over, check out the Instagram page, and get in on the giveaway. Thank you, and good night.
Love,